Hey guys, and welcome to the Ordinary Men Who Fight Like Heroes podcast. I am Chris Fearing, and I'm joined at the table by
DrunksNDragons
and Aaron Bass.
Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys about a book I've been reading. It's called The Disaster Artist. Have you heard about this book?
No.
No, this is news to me.
The guy who played Mark in The Room wrote a book about the entirety of the time he met and has known Tommy Wiseau, including shooting The Room.
Oh my word.
That sounds very insightful.
It is amazing, and when I get my paperback, I will let you guys borrow it, because it is fantastic. Wow. There are things...
So, you're telling me it's that guy's a terrible actor, but man, he actually can kind of spin you a yarn, right?
No.
Make it sound.
There are full-on reasons why he's so bad.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. For one thing, they were filming the, the famous scene where he's
Spoiler alert, I guess, for people who are looking to read the book.
Where it's just
people who haven't seen The Room, the best movie ever. Don't worry, we'll stop here from wait. If you watch, you'll be glad you didn't.
Go watch it. Go watch it. Okay, have you watched it? All right,
okay. Good. Yeah, moving on.
Okay, so the famous scene where he comes out, it's like, I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Took them 3 hours to get that one shot.
Are you serious?
He wrote the entire script himself, could not remember any of his lines. He would just come out and go, I did not line. Or he would just walk out,
that is amazing.
I did not hit her. I did not. And then he would just stop. He would just fucking stop. And they'd be like, Tommy, say your line. And it got to the point where they gave him a mark to hit. So he started coming out of the shed, staring at his feet the entire time. And would just like, I did not hit her, I did not. And he would stop on his X. And then would be like, Tommy! And he'd look up and go, oh, hi, Mark. Remember, this guy that wrote the script, this guy that hired everybody. This is the guy that before they started filming, instead of renting the equipment, he went to the movie studio and bought every single piece of equipment.
Oh, wow.
Out of his own pocket.
Wow.
This is a guy that for some reason owned two places. One, a very nice apartment in San Francisco. Another very nice apartment in downtown Los Angeles.
So, what kind of mental problem does he have where the government money that you get for having this disability gets you enough money to actually buy the filming equipment for a movie? Because I want to fake having this so I can get myself tons of money.
I don't think he's getting paid for disability. He never has directly said what his backstory is.
I was gonna say
he doesn't say that to anyone.
We gotta wait for the season finale for that.
There was even a point where or finishing the oh hey Mark thing, the guy who plays Mark, Greg S name, I don't want to fucking butcher it, but he eventually was just like, okay Tommy, just come out, hit your mark, and then look up at me and say, oh hi Mark. That wasn't even a part of the script.
Really?
Yep. And he kept missing it, so he was like, you need a prop. You need something. He's like, yeah, I need to show the emotion with throwing something. And he handed him a water bottle. So that's why he comes out, it's like, I did not hit her, I did not. And he throws it, and the dude that plays Mark is standing just off frame, looking at him, waving. So he looks up and goes, oh, hi, Mark. And that's why he delivers it like that.
That's incredible. This sounds fake, it's so bad.
When they were doing the roof scene, he would go up to crew members and start talking to them about how they could possibly film his car being lifted up off the ground by wires to look like it was flying so he could have Tommy be a vampire. Or Johnny be a vampire.
What? What?
That was his initial plan.
I'm really sad we didn't get to see this full man's vision. Because it would have been spectacular. Anyone out there who can hear my voice, throw all of your money at Tommy Wiseau. He needs to make another movie, because apparently he
doesn't need people throwing money at him.
What, is he super rich? Well, yeah, that's right.
He has mysterious connections.
He has mysterious.
No. Beyond that, The Room now dominates a theater in downtown San Francisco and shows almost nonstop.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
People will show up in costume and have developed crowd rituals like Rocky Horror to it.
Oh my God! So we can go and see people in tuxedos playing football.
He'll show up. He'll show up to almost all of the showings and just toss a football around with people in front of the theater before they let people in to see the movie. And there's even a point further on where
I still think he's a spy or something. Like that. You don't get that much money for like being that.
He's the world's lousiest spy, then. I mean,
As far as we know. As far as we know.
true.
Can you imagine like if you just walk like and he's like super serious and like talking like he's fucking? I'd be scared as hell. I'll tell you what, I'd be scared as hell just in the room with him anyway. I don't know. It's fucking amazing though. That's great.
But there's actually like
Get me
speaking
to
of
this theater. This is a movie I want to see.
yeah,
Again,
we need to
On the big
fucking
screen.
road trip to see it alongside Tommy Wiseau.
That was
Oh,
incredible.
if I could get his
Yes.
autograph, I would be. I would bring a water bottle.
I
That'd be
just
perfect.
imagine he signs it in like some script that he doesn't even himself can read, but we find out later it's like from an ancient culture that they never like.
existed on Earth.
Yeah.
It's like he like all his scribbled shit on the bottle happens to line up with this like exact like rock formation that can be seen on the surface of Venus or some shit. So you're like, he is from outer space.
Tommy Wiseau is the key to National Treasure.
Oh man, does this mean Nicolas Cage gets to? Oh my god, I remember a movie that Nicolas Cage is going to be in.
What?
Left Behind.
No, and a better movie.
What?
He is going to be in that though.
He is going to be in that though. Okay,
As
so
long as
left.
Kirk
Okay,
Cameron is
so
far
like,
away from it.
okay, so Nicolas Cage is going to be in the movie called Left Behind, where like all the people like disappear off the earth, and
Yeah.
it's like the fucking biblical
Yeah.
things. That's real specific. Yeah, but no. The movie that's even better is going to be him and this. Okay, so he's a Templar, and his Templar buddy, like
Season of the
I'm
Witch.
already with you.
Templars,
Yes.
medieval Templars, they're going to help save China by disposing
Yes.
the evil emperor and putting the younger son
What?
on the throne. And
Yes.
and it gets better. It gets better. Guess who?
How?
Guess who his teammate is? Guess who his fellow teammate
Ron
Templar is?
Perlman.
No. Chris Track. Guess. Guess.
It's a Bruce Campbell.
No. It's
Is
Hayden
it-
Christensen from episode. It's Hayden
How?
Christensen.
How
it's
is it
Anakin
Hayden
Skywalker.
How is it him? How is he allowed to work?
The devil.
It's gonna be the best thing ever.
deal with the devil that he made to get into episodes 2 and 3.
Maybe
Like-
Nicolas Cage requested him, and
Maybe.
then is like, I'm gonna teach this man how to act. He's gonna
I want
come
to
out of
teach
this
this
movie
man how to act.
being the best.
Oh God, I hope so. But the point is, I'm sitting here looking at a trailer where I'm like, Hayden Christensen and Nicolas Cage are Templars who help save China, and that's all the tagline I personally need to go see this movie.
That description causes aneurysms by itself. That's not even.
I will.
It's not
I'll
even
beat
medical
up somebody.
sound.
I'll take their money and I'll give them their money. I'll give that. I'm like, I want to see this movie on the big screen somehow. I doubt that'll happen, but that's fantastic. That's the horrifying. It's horrifying, but I'll go see it. That's, oh my gosh, this is really giddy when I.
But
found that out.
some more of the Tommy Wiseau stuff is actually the way he speaks in the movie is the entirety of how the script was written, dialogue-wise.
Really?
It's
that was
written
on the page.
It's no. Everyone else's lines are written in his speak.
Oh,
They had to doctor it on the set, and he would get furiously pissed
that's incredible.
when they were filming the scene where Mark talks about how that chick gets beat up so bad that she ended up in the hospital, and Johnny just sits there and goes, "What's the story, Mark?" When he does that,
Yeah.
he's not supposed to laugh.
Really?
Tommy Wiseau laughed
Oh,
and
wow.
could not laugh. No matter how many people were like, "This is awful, you don't need to laugh at this." Like, okay, I will not laugh. What story, Mark?
See,
Every single time.
see, he's a cold-blooded ass spy for the Russians.
Which is ironic because he actually, Greg, whatever his name is, reveals that he's from Russia.
It makes sense.
And he got in.
So is he the spy?
And he got
Is
in
this like a season of 24 or something?
and he got in a car wreck when he was a teenager, and then got in another car wreck later in life, and that's why like he looks so fucked up.
Wow.
So he's unbreakable.
Because he's
slightly
unbreakable.
breakable. Slightly breakable.
But the only other thing that really jumps out at me that I remember like vividly enough to tell you guys is the scene where he's trashing the apartment, and he goes upstairs before he gets the gun. In the original script, and Tommy made these people film this. Now at this point, it's later in production. He has fired his entire crew twice and hired new people that are even worse at their jobs than the other people because he would constantly yell at people. He had one of his assistants run around with a cinema quality HD camera and film everyone so he could watch all of the dailies at the end of the day and see what people were saying about him behind his back.
Man. Ugh.
Yeah, no, it apparently whenever he talked to someone on the phone, he would actually hit record on a cassette player and record every single phone conversation he had so he could go back and listen to him when he wanted.
Like the plot point from his film.
And that's exactly why that plot point's in there. That was the fucking tape recorder in the movie that he uses to record people at his apartment.
That creepy son of a bitch.
But right before he kills himself, where he goes upstairs and finds Lisa's red dress, in the original script, he takes Lisa's red dress, unzips, pulls his dick out, wraps it around his dick, and jacks off.
In the script?
Yep. And then he raises it to his nose, smells it, and that's when he collapses down and puts the gun in his mouth. And he filmed that scene.
My God.
He fucking filmed that scene. And when they were shooting all the sex scenes, usually when you do sex scenes, you have like a closed set where you don't, like, you have the minimal crew just so people don't feel awkward. He had every single cast and crew member show up to give him, like, pointers about how well it was going. And it got to the point where he filmed so much of it. They filmed he and Lisa's sex scene over the course of 3 days.
Good Lord.
To the point where she told Greg that she felt like she needed chemical showers. And apparently, like, the girl who plays that horrendous bitch, Lisa, is one of the nicest people in real life.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. But apparently he liked the sex scene so much, that's why near the end of the movie, there's that other sex scene just kind of cram-a-lammed in the movie. Because there's so much footage from the first one that he threw it in, because he liked it. It has a lot of emotion.
That's kind of almost ruining the film for me to hear some of this information.
It makes me really want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, but in not a hilarious, haha, this is going to be fun way.
But just wait. When I get the paperback, I'll let you guys borrow it and read it. And then we can all watch the movie together.
Why are all of our favorite things of such a dark side?
Well, apparently The Room was not the first script he wanted to write.
Yeah, apparently it's this vampire shit with cars flying.
No.
There's that.
It was a legit vampire movie.
Oh, man!
And he was telling the guy Greg about it on one of their first meetings, and he told him the title. Vampire from Alcatraz, the Vampire King. Yes!
Okay.
Why
the hell has that not been made?
Yeah.
Vampire from
I'm
Alcatraz,
sure it will at one
the
point.
Vampire King. Already. Like, just... Vampire from Alcatraz, the Vampire King. This is best title. This is best,
yeah.
bro. This is best title.
And it got to the point where he would claim that he was a vampire in his regular life. Like, that...
Holy shit,
just...
is he, like, trapped, like, in middle school?
Yeah. No, a lot of things that point to, like, when they would have, like, actual conversations off set and not filming the movie, that's kind of his mentality about things. Like, they would drive somewhere, and he would have these really nice-ass cars and tell the other guy to drive. And they would drive, and he would, like, fucking fall asleep right as they left, like, dead sleep. And as soon as they got there, the other dude wouldn't say anything, but they would just be, like, driving into the city that they were going to, and he would just sit up. and like, after it happened, like, the third time, the guy was like, how do you do that? And he just looked at him and said, vampire trick.
I don't know what to think about that.
I'll believe that. Okay, he's a vampire. Okay, so that's why he's a vampire. Think about it. He's immortal.
He's a
crazy
vampire Russian spy from outer space who wants to film a documentary but can never quite get it right. That's the story.
Well, one of the last things I heard about Tommy Wiseau is he's actually trying to pitch a vampire TV show to different networks.
I hope to God someone gives it to him.
Yeah.
I hope to God it's HBO.
So we can see more of his ass?
No, so we can just... Actually, you know what? Just give him the last season of True Blood. That'll work, right?
Yeah.
If he shows up in the very last episode of True Blood as, like, the main villain this whole time.
He's the Vampire King from Alcatraz. Hey, man, be a step up. No, I'm just kidding. I don't fucking watch True Blood, so I don't feel comfortable just bashing the shit out of a show I've not really seen.
I've seen the first 3 seasons.
I've seen, like, trailers and for later seasons. I'm like, whoo! Things are happening.
That's because they just start bringing in all these different mythological races, like fairies and satyrs and centaurs and shit like that. But that second season still pisses me off. That villain in that second season just infuriated the shit out of me. Not like True Detective, which is probably one of the best fucking shows, even though kind of not so excited about the second season, because the first season was so good, and it had Woody Harrelson in it. It was fucking amazing. He's on par with, like, Bruce Campbell and Josh Brolin. But, I mean, like, have you heard?
I have indeed. And that was a good segue, by the way.
Thanks.
Yes.
Saving that.
Saving that. Yeah, you guys apparently know who's in the second season. I don't know who's in the second season.
The two characters are going to be played by Colin Farrell
Da-da.
and, oh, shoot. Now that you put me on the spot, I can't think of his name. Vince Vaughn.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Interesting choices. Interesting choices. I like one of them at least a lot. By one of them
Have
a lot, I mean Colin Farrell, because fucking In Bruges,
Yes.
Seven Psychopaths.
Yes.
That's almost all you actually really need right there.
What was that movie that Colin Farrell was in with Brendan Gleeson?
Oh,
Aaron,
you mean
In
In
Bruges?
Bruges? Yeah, it's my favorite movie.
Yeah, In Bruges. That's your favorite movie. But no, In Bruges is fucking great. It's fucking great. So, like,
It is a
man,
great movie.
they're going to be the detectives.
Yes.
Have they said
Vince-
where they're going to set it?
I think they have. I think
be
it's
Vi-
actually on the West Coast. Possibly in the early 90s. Maybe even... No, wait. I might be confusing some of that with the first season. But I think it is in L.A. maybe, or in... at least on
And Vince Vaughn.
that area.
Interesting.
Well,
I haven't seen Vince Vaughn in too many things. I've seen him in...
He seems like he's cut from the same cloth as where McConaughey was before.
that's what I was thinking.
But at the same time...
But
it's-
McConaughey was like, nah, just kidding, guys. I'm like a super good actor and I can do all this shit. And it's just like, holy shit, this guy's awesome.
Well, maybe he's
yeah.
going to be that way.
I don't have... Well, I didn't
that's
have
just-
faith in McConaughey beforehand, but I have
Holy
even
shit.
I have even less faith for Vince Vaughn.
I think that's properly placed.
Man, what was it?
I don't
Did
like
we see?
Vince
Did we?
Vaughn,
Did
really.
you show? Did we watch the Wedding Crashers? The one movie where like Vince Vaughn and the other dude went around to like weddings and like fucking had slept with like bridesmaids. Did we watch that?
Yeah, we watched it.
Did I watch that with you?
I think so.
So that makes 2 movies I've seen him in. Because the only other movie I can think of is Swingers.
But Dodgeball. Have you seen Dodgeball? He was in Dodgeball.
A chunk of it a while ago.
That's why they played Dodgeball. And
No,
Dodgeball
actually I
turned
did see Dodgeball. He wasn't the main dude in Dodgeball.
Yeah,
Was he?
Yeah.
he's
Was?
the main dude. He's like the head of the underdog gym.
Okay, I just keep thinking of what's his face.
Goes up against
I
Ben
just think
Stiller.
of him
Nobody
as
makes me
what's his
bleed
face.
my own blood.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody makes me.
That
bleed my
is-
own blood.
that is a
I just
great
think of
movie
him
as
as the
well.
villain. I can't remember most of that movie.
Yeah.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball. He pitches the wrench and hits that
Fucking
kid.
hits that dude right in the face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
That
remember.
kid that's going to be turned into a walrus one day.
I remember certain jokes. I remember certain jokes from Dodgeball, but it's been a while. But it's Dodgeball.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad.
It's not like we're talking
Got
about
Alan
Zoolander,
Tudyk
right?
as a pirate. That's a fucking hilarious movie.
Man, that's right. Alan Tudyk was a pirate in that movie. Man, I gotta see Dodgeball again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zoolander. That's fucking.
You know what the best thing
hilarious.
is about Zoolander?
What?
Billy Zane.
Yes.
You know what's the best thing about anything Billy Zane is in? Like Billy Zane, man.
I wish Billy Zane
That's
was my
why
dad.
Scorpion King 3 was amazing. He played the
I
most
still need to see
stock,
that.
stock villain, but he made it incredible.
He plays a stock villain incredibly well. Like he's actually gets out there and he's like, "I'm evil, yeah!" And he's like, he's fucking psyched about it.
Yeah.
Then he summons like these Mortal Kombat rejects, and it's fucking fabulous. 'Cause
Suckers!
the whole movie's just awful to the point of this is goddamn hilarious. Scorpion King 3, best Scorpion King movie.
The disparity between like the sidekick and the main character, in like how bad and good they were in fighting, was hilarious. Like,
oh man, there's this one shot where they're infiltrating like a castle, and quite literally, it's the difference between like it's just the worst. It's just the worst. I don't even know. It almost just feels like two different like. It's almost like directors were switched mid scene or some shit. It's just like here, someone who's blind, tell us if the shot looked good. Sure, and then they went with it. It was amazing. But no, the movie overall, they fucking made use of those elephants, man. I tell you, but you know,
Yeah, they
elephants
did.
are probably hard to raise.
there was elephant combat out the ass
I mean,
everywhere.
there are elephants fighting ninjas and shit. I'm not even making this shit up. This is real. Then the fucking like Billy Zane gets the Black Book of the Dead from Jango Fett. Not even kidding. And he like fucking uses it to summon. Jango Fett's like this kick-ass monk dude, and he's all like, "I'm gonna use it to summon these Mortal Kombat rejects." And then like they fight at the end, and, like all the shit, and dude has like Kratos blades. Oh man, I'm not even.
That sounds awesome.
No, this movie's great. This movie's like so bad where you're like, this is the best. You're like, you love it. You
I
love
wouldn't
it 'cause
mind
it's
seeing
bad.
it because the first one is like, yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
first,
like a Conan-ish kind of movie.
yeah, the first one's kind of a Conan-ish movie, but kind of pulls it off because The Rock has the charisma to do so.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't
Even though I heard that Hercules sucks nuts.
Man,
I've heard this.
if you have to choose between two Hercules, though, you have like the Hercules movie with The Rock, and you have the Hercules other movie that's like every other Greek warrior movie, kind of, but not really, but lamer. I can't remember what it was called. Or
You take the one with the Rock, because the Rock's fucking awesome.
So, like, yeah, you take the one with The Rock, because The Rock is, like, the one of the two guys that has the more charisma and presence and stuff. And that's why the final fight was disappointing, because it was, in, like, the Scorpion, like, in the second Mummy movie, because it was CG, like The Rock. They should have let The Rock ball out there with, like, prosthetic, like, weird, you know...
Like maybe like one prosthetic scorpion claw and the sword.
Yeah,
And just, like,
and they
going
should have
out
had
there,
him,
like,
like,
just
one-liners and just be like, it's, like, the best wrestling match ever!
And give him like weird, like almost like outer shellish growths on his body, like he's a fucking Las Plagas or something like that.
Yeah,
And he just
he's-
like lunges out there like,
He's a Scorpion man.
But like I like the second one because the second one was like a mixture of like what the D&D movie should have been with Prince of Persia,
Okay, so, like, this one is
and not like Prince of Persia, Disney's Prince of Persia that made me fall asleep in the first 20 minutes.
there was some
But like
elements that I thought were cool.
the Prince of Persia game is Prince of Persia, but it was pretty cool. I had like
Wait, so you mean,
dungeon
like, the 3
crawls
for
and shit.
Xbox, not, like, the one where, like, it was all super painted and you fucking, like, were...
That wasn't that bad of a game.
I know that one was cool. Like, that one looked
but
cool.
like like the originals.
But, like, I mean, there's at the 3, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a girl and a dude, and I think there might have been another dude, but they all had like weapon specialties. There was dungeon crawls. There was like an evil wizard.
Man,
had to stop.
the Dungeons and
Lots of
Dragons
sand.
movies, that's just like, well, everything is like those, but like always better.
I haven't seen the second one. I've seen the first one though, in all its majesty.
Man, the second one's better than the first as far as the film goes, but the fact that they still actually have it set in the same world kind of like stabs me in the face. And the fact that like, the villain is still like the second in command villain from the other movie.
Is it still
also
Jeremy Irons?
Stabs me in the face. No, not even Jeremy Irons. Like, it's just the bald guy with blue lips. He's back and he's a zombie.
Is it the same actor?
Yeah.
That's
Only
awesome.
he's like actually like got a more threatening voice somehow. Like he's more somehow slightly more threatening.
Well, he's
like,
an undead now. He has to have a more
he's-
threatening voice.
It's still a better movie.
That's good.
Obviously, these movies just hanker so hard on.
It's better than Aragon, I'm sure,
Yes.
because that movie was straight up dumb.
There was some cool things in it.
You know, like Star Wars.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like its inability to not be Star Wars. But I was gonna say, like, I like Jeremy Irons in it, and I like the
Yeah.
evil wizard guy who threw fireballs, even though he wasn't even in the book or some shit.
Okay, there's a fantasy movie, there's Jeremy Irons and an evil wizard and like a young kid that's trying to go prove himself. What am I talking about?
Whew.
The Lion King?
It's,
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Mufasa!
Oh man, that's a lot of things, sir. Jeremy Irons can act though. Like I've seen him
He
act.
can. I love him as fucking Davy Jones.
Stop. Stop trolling. Stop. No, I was gonna be all like hoity-toity and be like, King Henry the Fourth part. Man, which part we watched? It was part 2,
Part
right?
2.
We watched part 2 because part 1 is his rise or some shit. We watched part
Yes.
2 over at Seth's. That was a fucking good movie. The guy that played Loki.
Or
Played,
we only watched the part 1 because I think the father was King Henry III, and that's part of the Henry ad. I
Oh
don't
my god,
remember.
we don't know Shakespeare's much.
This is the part where it gets really, really boring.
Man, you get really boring. Now, but let's... no. But like the guy Tom Hiddleston that plays Loki in the Avengers movies was his son, and he did a fantastic job in that movie. And
You're
like,
still talking about like the Avengers and like Thor and him being like the son of Odin and stuff.
no, I'm talking about Shakespeare. But
So Avengers and Thor.
yeah, well, I mean that director
I gotta
wanted to
stop.
chase that Shakespeare thing, but like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like no, that movie was really good.
Cool.
I really like that movie. I really like. No, I like the characters. That was a good movie.
What was the
It was a good play.
Which
It's a good movie
Shakespeare?
based off a good play.
Which Shakespeare thing was it that had Captain Jean-Luc Picard on the cover of the DVD holding up his hand covered in blood, like I've just had my first period?
Macbeth.
Oh, okay, it makes more sense.
Oh man, that one
We
was
saw that
actually
as well.
pretty cool too. Because Macbeth is kind of actually just an awesome story anyway.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool though.
That's
It
true.
was cool. It was weird. It was.
It was cool. It was
I
very.
wanna see another version
It was
of Macbeth
almost like
before I can judge.
it's almost like the way that one was done makes me almost think like, man, they were acting so hard. I could feel the stage, even though it's obviously a movie and they're on set. If that makes any sense.
That does
Like,
make sense.
It evoked that kind of atmosphere by the sheer style of their acting.
Nice.
It's still good though.
Cool.
Still good. Best Shakespeare movie though, Shakespeare-based movie I own though, is still like Coriolanus.
Heck yeah.
Who's that?
with Ray Fiennes and fucking Gerard Butler.
Who's Coriolanus?
He's
A Roman general, but in this movie,
he's a Roman. Yeah, Ray Fiennes plays a Roman general, and he like defends, and it does really well. And they want him to be like this position in politics this is watering it down a lot, but they want him to be in this position of politics that's like a leader in the Senate, but he doesn't want the job. He just kind of wants to be like, you get, or at least you're really left with the impression like, this guy would be happier just killing his enemies on the battlefield. But they want him to take this political position and hobnob and talk with people, and he
Sucks at
fucking
those things.
sucks at those things and hates those things. He doesn't like the people. He hates the people. He'd rather just go out and defend Rome. And it ain't even about like the glory and shit. He'd just rather go out and soldier as fuck. And then
Sounds cool.
These
It is cool.
Senate dudes get him banished. So he leaves Rome and he ends up going to his enemies, and his enemies are like, "You want to help us take Rome?" And he says, "Yes." And then he like leads their armies and starts kicking everyone's shit in, and everyone's like, holy hot damn, he's in front of our enemies. Oh no! Like, everyone's hiding and shit.
That's cool.
And everyone's super afraid of him, and then like Gerard Butler's all like, all of my men like really love this dude now that he's in our army, and everyone like wants to follow him. I've kind of stopped being the leader almost.
Until he's like, Spartans!
Kind of. Until he's like,
Spartans killed
just
Ray Fiennes.
fuck this. Fuck this.
Fuck that Voldemort guy!
It's not a happy ending. Spoiler alert all the way, by the way. But bad shit happens. You can't really talk about like,
400-year-old
you
story.
can't talk about like, yeah, you can't really talk about like these
Spoiler alert on the
complex
movie.
stories without like really getting into like where like, I don't want to say the twist is, but like, can you imagine if I like told you about Hamlet, where it's like, it's about a mopey dude whose like dad is like dead, but like you need that thing where like, and then you need to tell them that the ghost comes back and tells them that like, my uncle, my brother, your uncle killed me and stuff. You gotta do stuff. So Hamlet is like, then he goes crazy and does all this cool shit. And it's like, you need to like get to a certain point when you describe Shakespeare plots so you can tell people where the fucking catch is. So they're like, oh shit, that sounds awesome. Because if you just like stop at the very beginning, that shit sounds retarded.
That's true for a lot of things too.
I really, really hope that it gets to the point, and I know it won't, but I really hope it gets to the point that Tyler Perry has so little money that he has to start putting out the Shakespeare plays cast by him and done in his play style as like DVDs.
Hello.
Wouldn't you watch those, Aaron? Don't you like all of those
no,
things?
No, please don't.
Sad part is, like,
please.
Tyler Perry acts, right? Like, he as an actor who has acted in films and can act. Like, it's not like he just dresses up as Medea, like, all the time, right? Like,
I hope he
stop
does.
me if I'm
I
wrong.
Hope I am not an expert on Medea or anything to do with Tyler Perry.
But Aaron, look, your color. That shows to me that you love all Tyler Perry things.
This is not a racist podcast.
I'm not directing
I'm not saying
I'm
it's
not directing
racist,
my
I'm making a
comments
joke.
towards you. I'm just directing my comments to anyone. Like, someone help
Even
me
though
out here.
your face is aimed right at him.
You're also in that
racist.
direction.
Why are you so racist?
Man, you're racist.
Yes.
You turn this into welcome to the fucking second podcast. Where we just become racist. Fucking fantastic.
Takes us about 10 minutes, but we eventually get to the racism.
Oh, thank goodness. Because, you
I
know,
was waiting for this, he says in
yes,
his hood watching
racism
YouTube.
is the best part.
Oh, finally, the racism.
Yes. We are in the South. There's like a mandated amount.
It's like this, like a bubbling underbelly of like black racism.
Exactly.
now I'm not saying I'm racist.
Now, okay, this is something I wanted to tell you guys. There was a dude that came into the store, and he'd come in a few times, and he was like, oh, and he was like a really cool dude, like tall, looked like he might have been like me and Drew's distant uncle.
Not like
or
the guy who
something
buys
like that.
magic. We'll get to him.
No. We'll get to
him later.
The guy who buys magic.
We'll get to him on another podcast. But this dude walks in, and he had come in before to look at the new devices we had, and he ended up getting one, but he brought it back because he just didn't like tablets and touchscreen and all that kind of shit. But and who does? But he came in the second time, and he walks up, and he's got a wife beater on this time. And the first time he'd come in his like work coveralls with like his name patch and everything. So it was like, it's a cool dude, probably like 6'8", decently built but with a bit of a gut, like red short cropped hair, beard and everything. But he comes in the second time with a wife beater, and I'm standing up at the register. He's like, "Oh, what's up, man?" And comes over to me and starts talking to me about things. And I notice on his right bicep, he's got this huge Confederate flag in full color, like waving in the breeze. And I'm like, oh. And then on his left bicep, he's got this like skull with the jaw open in black and white with like a rattlesnake coiled up through it and like coming out of the eye
he's a
socket.
Death Eater.
No, hold on. The payoff's coming up. And so I'm like, that's kind of cool tattoo. This guy's all right. But he comes up to me and goes, hey man, is that 5th edition book over there the latest D&D there is? And I notice, peeking up from under his wife beater, about the size like bigger than a tennis ball, on his chest is a full color tattoo of a fucking beholder. With like all the tentacle eyes a different color, like different elemental colors.
So he is Death Eater.
Wow.
And I was just like, whoa, yes it is, sir.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
I think that guy is an awesome proof that
I think that just
we should
shattered
not
our
judge.
racism.
Yes, it shattered our racism.
We've cleansed ourselves.
Yes.
Nerds erase now. Nerds erase. I was gonna say,
And
but like,
you bring it
but
back.
it was But the point is, people can be full of surprises. Not usually, but sometimes they'll be all like, "Yeah, man, the South, Lord Voldemort, man, oh fucking new addition to D&D, hell yes." And you're like, "Fuck." It's not a bad addition to go with, really. We'll get to that another time, though.
Yep. But I just wanted to let you guys know that. But so
Thanks to some of the more interesting people you run into later on.
Yeah, at some point when we get to those topics, which we inevitably will, because our friend Aaron has a disability when it comes to it. He just can't. He can't stop. Can't stop till he has enough. Come on, and you don't stop.
There's never enough magic.
Okay, don't even start. Thank you guys for joining us today. And just remember, if there ever comes a point where you're in the kitchen and you're like, I'm going to have some soup or I'm going to have some yogurt, and you're looking in the drawers and you can't find any spoons, it's the Baba Yaga.